having that federal medical team here doesn't just help the hospital, it helps the entire county care for more coronavirus patients. The personal protective equipment will get put in this autoclave, sterilized at 280 degrees for 45 minutes, and come out ready to be used again. Flames from that fire were so hot that it melted the back of this porta potty and burned down several homes on this block. Right now, this is just an empty field, but soon this will be something veterans have been waiting for nearly 2 decades. It was a close call for a couple of firefighters who came within just a couple feet of being hit when a car came crashing through this front bay door. Eligible students will receive $500 that they can use towards books, school supplies, and other costs associated with attending college. And a lot of people have been stopping by and adding to this memorial to remember and honor 17-year-old Anthony Graves. Last night's storm caused a big mess. There's still some downed trees that need to be cleared. Take a look at this one. You can see those strong winds nearly snapped this tree in half. An employee here at the shop tells me that suspect was only able to get away with a bag of rolling tobacco and 2 energy drinks he took from that back room. Parts of Castle Oak Drive remain blocked off as investigators continue to process this scene and also talk to neighbors. Neighbors I spoke to say it's concerning to know this happened so close to home. We're right outside of where Jacob Servant was first arrested before he was taken to jail. He says what happened next he never could have imagined, and now he fully intends to press charges.
This is beyond excessive force.
Bloodshot eyes, a broken nose, and bruises all over his body. Jacob Servant says that's how 3 correctional officers at the San Joaquin County Jail left him, bloodied and broken.
Whatever it was for, whatever motivated him to do this, whether it was a racist hate crime or whatever, like nobody deserves this. You know, nobody.
According to deputies, Servant was arrested near a bar Sunday night by Stockton police for public intoxication. They brought him to the San Joaquin County Jail where this mugshot was taken.
When Mr. Servant arrived from Stockton PD and was booked into our jail, we did not see any visible injuries at that time.
Deputies say he then became combative.
He was placed in the cell. They started to remove the handcuffs, and when they took one handcuff off, the fight was on.
The sheriff says it was Servant who was the aggressor. He says according to jail staff, they did what they had to do to protect themselves.
The officers, there were 2 males and a female. He grabbed hold of the female, tried to drag her to the ground, and would not let go of her. And so they fought the best they could to try and free her and to get themselves out of the cell and get that door closed.
But Servant says that's not how it happened.
They forcefully take me to the storage area where it was away from intake, and that's where they held me down by my feet, held me down by my hands, and beat me to a pulp. One by one, they choked me. They put my head backwards like this behind the chair. I thought my neck was gonna snap.
He strongly denies he did anything to provoke the officers.
If that was the case, I would not be here sitting here talking to you. I'm positive I'd still be in jail for assaulting an officer and trying to take the equipment. Instead I try to bite her. Come on, just be realistic. I'd still be in jail, and I'd be waiting to see a judge for those kind of actions.
Servant is now calling for the officers' jobs.
Abusing the position is an understatement. You know, they don't deserve their badges. They don't deserve their badges. They need their badges taken from them.
Now, we asked the sheriff about surveillance video. He says while there's no cameras in that jail cell, there is video of Servant from before and after the altercation. He says that they fully intend to release that soon, though he didn't give us a specific time frame. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then what Katie Scott is doing around her Mountain House community tells a beautiful story.
Oh my gosh, I love those. Those are really cute.
I love being able to capture those moments between families, between kids and parents, of course. I love kids.
A story of finding joy even during a global health crisis.
He's 13 and I'm not going to have but a few more years before he's gone, and I'm trying to just really enjoy every moment.
Can you put your arm around her? Oh, that's really cute.
A story of making the most out of your time with family. Scott is putting her photography skills to use, snapping family portraits from a distance as the state remains under a stay-at-home order.
To see the smiles on a lot of these families' faces has been so awesome and so fun.
For families, the laughs and smiles shared during the many photo shoots will be a happy memory to take away from a time of uncertainty.
A lot of stress and then the worry of keeping everyone safe, keeping everyone healthy. And it just kind of takes your mind off of that a little bit.
It just seemed like something fun to do, something to kind of make us smile and break the monotony of being in the house.
Our salon is shut down, so we have no income whatsoever. And so it's important for us to continue to encourage each other, to lift each other up, to do fun things, and to just stay happy during these times.
Rona Green says she'll look back at the photos and always remember the time spent with family and the kindness of a neighbor.
First thing I'll remember from the photos is the generosity of the photographer, the idea that she had to be able to give families this opportunity. In times like this, it's what we do for each other to help and to support each other.
A picture-perfect sense of community.
That's made me really happy, being able to see the joy on other people's faces just from getting their pictures taken for a few minutes.
In Mountain House, Kristi Gross, Fox 40 News. A couple of hundred protesters just returned here to Cesar Chavez Park. You can see they're still gathering right now. It's for a small rally, much smaller crowd than it was earlier today, but I spoke to some of these protesters earlier, and they tell me now's not the time to rest or let up. Justice! Now! On the 9th day of protests in Sacramento, people were just as passionate in their pleas for justice as they were on day one.
What is his name? George Floyd! What is his name? George Floyd!
The sea of people, some wearing protective masks, filled several city blocks downtown as far as the eye could see. Most carrying signs for George Floyd.
Black Lives Matter, man. We're in here trying to use our voice.
I had to come out here today because I have black brothers. I have black cousins. I have I'm black.
Thousands of protesters marched from Golden One Center past the California State Capitol to rally at Cesar Chavez Plaza.
And to all of our Americans who aren't black, my message to you is to fight to the end with us. Don't give up. We need you. We need you. We need you.
In unison, protesters chanted Breonna Taylor's name, a former Louisville, Kentucky EMT who was shot and killed at her own home. Protesters say she was another victim of police brutality. They say those officers should face charges.
Just deemed as invaluable just for the color of our skin, you know, and we're tired of it.
Fighting for justice and an end to racism and police brutality.
And we've been fighting for the same thing for generations. And it hurt because it's not enough change.
Protesters hope these demonstrations in the wake of Floyd's death will lead to real progress. They feel this time change will come.
This one is different because it's a whole nation behind. Like everyone in the nation is enraged. We've never had full support from every state, all 50 states, and even in other countries.
After addressing the crowd in the park, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg spoke to Fox 40. He says he's ready to work on systemic changes.
This is maybe the greatest awakening that we have had in my adult lifetime. And I feel it. I feel it very deeply.
Those controversial comments came about during a Tracy City Council meeting when they were discussing possible emergency solutions to the homeless issue here in Tracy.
You can do, what, $50,000, right? How much a bus tickets cost?
When I saw the clip, I thought it was a joke.
Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs says he was shocked by Tracy Mayor Robert Rickman's comments during a Tuesday night City Council meeting.
You know, what about we get somebody busted? If it's going to be 35 degrees tomorrow, why don't we have a designated spot? They can come, get a ticket, and go to that shelter.
If it's cold outside and people need a place to stay, being compassionate doesn't really matter where.
Mayor Rickman says he stands by his proposal.
Access to mental health and substance abuse treatment, right? Those are county resources that are located within the city of Stockton.
His proposal led to a Twitter feud after Tubbs posted a clip of the meeting to social media.
It's reprehensible, it's pathetic. And I just wasn't going to stand for it.
That's a very petty comment. And what Mayor Tubbs needs to realize, and maybe if he was in the city more, in this county more, and realizes the effect of the problem, is those facilities are in the city of Stockton.
At that council meeting, Mayor Rickman also told council about a shelter in Stockton.
I know they just built a nice big shelter in Stockton that You know, what I heard, it's not even close to being filled.
The mayor was lying.
Tubbs says comments Mayor Rickman posted to social media or said in that meeting were not accurate.
You're saying we have $50 million we haven't seen. We don't have that money, sir. You're saying there's a big new shelter in Stockton that no one in Stockton knows about that has empty beds. That it doesn't exist.
Rickman says the city of Tracy isn't getting enough money from the county to address the homelessness in his city. He also says some of the county-run mental health and drug treatment resources available in Stockton are paid for with property tax money from Tracy.
The funds that we have from our property tax are taken away from our city. We do not have unnecessary resources to deal with this magnitude of a problem.
Tubbs says he's willing to share ideas on how Tracy can address its own homeless issue, but says busing them to Stockton isn't a solution.
At the city of Stockton, we have our hands full with the problems we have with homelessness in our community, and we're working on it. But I refuse to, and I won't help solve somebody else's problem. We're just not going to do it.
Mayor Tubbs says he's looking into what can be done to prevent cities from sending their homeless residents to Stockton.